Let's have a look at this. This is a strange one. And Chewie, I think this is right up your street. So let's have a look at that. Willie Apiata has handed over his Victoria Cross over an entitlements issue. So this is an image if you're watching us. If you listen to the audio podcast, it's an image of is it Chris Pink? It is Chris Pink. I was just thinking. I know one of his family members. I always get confused. Chris Pink and Willie Apiata and another member of the military. He's the RSA Padre, saying a prayer together as Willie Apiata hands back his Victoria Cross. Minister for Veterans Affairs Chris Pink left the Whakatane Returned Service Association on Friday with a precious taonga burning a hole in his pocket. New Zealand's most decorated war hero, Willie Apiata, had just gifted him his New Zealand Victoria Cross medal to carry to Parliament in hope of having the definition of a veteran changed in legislation. Apiata received the medal for carrying a wounded fellow soldier to safety under heavy fire in Afghanistan in 2004. That's 21 years ago. It's a long time. He has campaigned for more than 5 years for changes to the Veterans Support Act of 2014. The Act sets out which people who have served in the New Zealand military qualify for entitlements such as pensions and compensation for injuries or illness incurred through service. Currently, the only service people injured while deployed overseas during a war or emergency operation qualify unless they served before ACC was founded in 1974. That means they have to be born in the 1950s. So, there are many versions of the definition of a veteran, Apiata said. The definition that resides within our country at the moment splits us into two peoples when we should be one because we all gave service. That'll do for the article. We get it. So basically he's saying there is a group of people who served their country, who gave a portion of their life to the armed services, who are not considered veterans when it comes to entitlements. And because of that, Willie Apiata has handed back his Victoria Cross, saying, I can't wear this until this issue is sorted out. Now, Chewie, we all know that you are a history buff and you are I'm going to say a fan of war. You know what I mean? You investigate war. You're a student of that world. So I don't have much to add to this because it just seems massive to me. You'll have much more knowledge on me. So the floor is yours, sir.
Well, first of all, if we're talking about Willie Apiata, we need to start it with this picture.
That is a dope picture. He looks hard.
Yeah, that is, I believe, taken just after one of his combat actions in Afghanistan. It might even be the one that he won the Victoria Cross.
And there was a whole bunch of stuff. There was a whole bunch of stuff about this photo because I think the New Zealand media released it, and they shouldn't have because it showed his face. And then the people that they were fighting in Afghanistan knew he was like a particularly high-ranking individual because he was part of the whatever the advanced forces are called or something. I was going to say, I knew he said Secret Service, whatever the beret version of the New Zealand Army is or whatever it was.
Yeah, the SAS. It was released by the international media, so there was no chance for anybody to put black bars over his face and that sort of thing. But yes, this image I keep in a folder on my computer called Images That Go Hard. It's a pretty good one. I cannot imagine what it is like to look at that medal that you earned under fire doing something absolutely crazy to save a mate and be awarded just something that is incredibly hard to win. I think most people that get the Victoria Cross die doing the action that earns it. So to be able to turn around and go, well, no, I'm going to put this on the line again for something that I really, really believe in for the people that I served with and all of that. I think that's an incredible gesture.
So, as of today, April 1st, 2025, there are 10 living recipients of the Victoria Cross for Australia and New Zealand. 10.
Yeah.
So that's it for now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's out there with the U.S. Congressional Medal of Honor, and it's just. But like, if you look up what people do to be awarded one, it is just an array of people doing insane things, just superhuman thing. So yeah, for him to put that on the line and go, hey, look, this needs to be looked at, I hope that sort of rocks people a little bit and go, well, shit, he really means it. And then they look at that photo that I put up and they go, I actually don't want him knocking on my office door asking me why I haven't changed things. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really dug into this story. Am I right in thinking that he's looking to remove the distinction from a veteran has to serve in combat operations?
He just wants, I guess he's looking for equality. It's kind of a
So
theme of he's wanting
if
people to be treated the same.
If you are active duty and you serve in the military and you finish, then you are a veteran.
Yeah, like I have a mate who spent 20, 25, 30 years in the Navy. He got right up to commander of a ship and that kind of stuff. And I know some young people in the Navy right now, and I kind of go, oh, you should, because there's like levels that you stay at. And if you go out after 10 years, you get these entitlements afterwards. And if you go out 20 and there's these entitlements that come with it. That's the Navy, though. It sounds like what they're saying is unless you've fought or been deployed overseas during wartime or emergencies, you're not accessible to those benefits. That's what I read in that. I'll read you one other, but let me just read you one other bit just to make sure we're all clear what he's actually saying. So he says, oh gosh, you've stolen my screen. There we go. Whether we go abroad or whether we stay at home, we swear allegiances to our people that are here within Aotearoa and other shores, and to serve under our king or queen. Now, this is also fair to put out there. It's not about national, yeah? He said he had spoken to previous ministers for veteran affairs, Penny Henare, Mika Whaitiri, and Ron Mark about the issue. As I said 5 years ago, I cannot carry this until we are all under the same umbrella, he said of the meeting.
Okay. So that is I have understood that correctly then, because this has traditionally been a real point of contention for people that have served, and even to the point of serving overseas. So one of the things two of the things that spring to mind, the Malayan emergency. That's when the Commonwealth and British, Australian, New Zealand forces fought communist rebels in Malaysia. Because it wasn't a war, the people that went and did combat operations and walked through the jungles and all of that sort of stuff under fire, they weren't classed as veterans when they came back because they didn't get medals or anything like that because it was an emergency, not a war. You know, active duty sailors that saw the French atomic testing and got sick. Because of that, you know, they were deployed in a dangerous situation in active duty, not classed as veterans. There is just even serving in peacetime. Being in the military is a dangerous job. You're working in extreme conditions, you're working with dangerous machinery, you're dealing with weapons and things that go bang and stuff that is basically designed to unalive as many people as possible. It's dangerous. You get hurt, you lose your hearing, all of these sort of things. But he's right. It did create this distinction between, well, yeah, you served, but did you serve as much as I did?
Did you really serve?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think if this is a feeling amongst servicemen and women, then I think it's a valid one. And I think if Willie Apiata is again doing this enormous gesture, that I hope the weight of that medal sitting in Chris Pink's pocket really does weigh on him.
Well, let me give you that, because I was going to say, you know, we always try and be fair here, even if we do have our own political biases, but the words that Chris Pink have said are really good. Now, what we want to see is the action that follows those words. But he says this of the receiving the Victoria Cross. He says, I don't wish to retain that taonga long. It weighs very heavily on me. I will return it to you. I undertake to do that as soon as possible on the basis you have set out. I mean, that's a good response. That's a really good response. We just hope that then follows up into good actions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's an interesting story, and I mean, we don't think about our veterans enough. I think, you know, because ultimately war is bad, but people put their lives into service and that sort of thing, and it is important. So I think, to carry the story at the start of April is Willie knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And look, there's some people in the chat giving Chris Pink a bit of grief. Like, I mean, I guess we just score balls and strikes, and all we're saying is those are good words. Now let's see
good
the
words.
action.
He has to follow them. Words have to mean something.
Yep.
And this will be something like you can go out there and say whatever you like, but
War is
if you
bad.
don't follow it through, I know I'm a good worder. I do words at a high level. Okay. Yeah, this is Chris Pink's opportunity to not be seen as a damp squib. Like, actually do something. And I will tip my hat to you if you do.